A person may possess all the riches of the world, but if he does not know anything about his own soul, it is all in vain. The ultimate purpose of all knowledge is that one should know oneself. What a pity it is that we have made wonderful progress in all walks of life, but woefully lack self-knowledge in the light and life of which we actually live and have our very being. By ignorance of the vital reality in us, it is no wonder that we have made fools of ourselves. Christ also spoke of the same thing. What does it profit a man to gain possession of the whole world and to lose his own soul? A part remains just a part until it merges into the whole and loses its own individuality in its fountainhead or source. A mountain stream in its downward course bubbles hard, frets and fumes until it falls into the ocean. So is the case with an individual spirit. Not knowing its essential nature, it knows not even its own source, and so it frets and fumes as its stream of life splashes along its stony bed, strewn with big boulders and submerged rocks. Individual restlessness is reflected in the restlessness that we see among the peoples of the world. Man has forgotten the great fundamental truth, the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man. Hence, there is a clash between man and man, class and class, society and society, and country. The crying need of the hour is to give a new orientation to the ancient science of spirituality and to tell the people how to live a spiritual life. The entire humanity is steeped in ignorance. Most of the people in the world live a life of selfishness and are bent upon enriching themselves at the cost of others. But they too stand bewildered, as if trapped between two millstones: truth, scientifically explained and taught by the masters, and the rigid creeds or the fossilized remains of religion, taught mostly by ignorant religious fanatics. The so-called teachers and preachers who should guide aright the erring mankind are themselves victims of the grand illusion and know not where they stand and what they have to do. Most of us are attracted and irresistibly drawn by the glamour of the outer life, the life of the senses, and honestly believe in the Epicurean doctrine of eat, drink, and be merry. We see no need of God at all, the very substratum of the universe. We have our faith pinned to the walnut shell and do not see the kernel within. We want to swallow the shell and not the sweet and delicious kernel it protects within its hard case. Our so-called search for God, too, is on the plane of the sense in the world without. We look for him on snow-capped mountaintops, in waters of the sacred rivers, in burning desert sands, in temples, mosques, churches, and there we find him not. The more we search for him without, the more he eludes us. He is now practically lost to us, and we have lost all faith in him. O seekers after God, you have lost God. You have lost him in the very whirlpool of the senses. In such a sad predicament, master souls come into the world from time to time to lead the erring humanity. Their message is one of hope and not of despair. They come not to break the law, but to fulfill the law of redemption through grace. They have unbounded love for all the religions and utter not a word against any. On the other hand, they try to reorientate all religions alike, transfuse fresh blood into their anemic vitals, resuscitate the decaying nerves and tissues, infuse a glow of life impulse, and to restore them to the high pedestals from whence they have fallen. They simply give the correct lead and point to the right path, which lies within and not without, the path that is the most ancient and is coeval with creation itself, and which is the most natural. It is the path laid down by the Creator himself and is not man-made. They tell us that God exists and that all religions, as made by man, have one object only, an approach to God. All religions in course of time, unfortunately, lose sight of the original idea and become just a code of social conduct, or at the most, a compendium of ethical and moral principles. Saints, therefore, do not interfere with fossilized remains of the religions, for many of necessity must conform to and live in one or the other social order. They point to the original common ideal of all religions, the inner path, leading to God, and they tell us how to reach God.